Bob Manzi is with us, and Heather Reed as well. Two of our other nominees, if you will, for the Leaders Circle Awards. They are both nominated. The awards dinner event is going to be on September the 27th at the Indiana Country Club. Heather, did you coordinate outfits with Bob here or what?
We always do.
Yeah, telling you. Man, both the stunning blue today. Bob, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. It's good to have you with us here today. You are a nominee for the Male Civic Leader of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, who nominated you?
The board from the YMCA.
The board from the YMCA, just like Heather.
Yes, sir.
You were both nominated by the YMCA board. So you're teammates here this morning. And as you look at what you've both done, the YMCA is really central to a lot of what you do, isn't it, Bob?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
There is so many different goings-ons at the YMCA that touch every part of this county.
Yeah. So as we think about Male Civic Leader of the Year and we look down the list that is sent out, that's one of the things with the bio. It's awful difficult not to look at one of these and go, wow, I need to step back and let this guy stand out front. So this is where we're going to do it today. Heather, talk about Bob. Tell me what's so special about him.
Oh, geez. That is really putting me on the hot seat. I feel like Bob would be much better to talk about Bob.
Okay. Well,
he likes to talk. Ask Bob.
I was going to make him talk about you, but the YMCA is such a wonderful organization because it touches every aspect of a family, doesn't it?
It does. You'll see all of the work they do for the children there, from their swim team, from the Miracle League field, from the various sports, the camps they do in the summer, all of the different activities they do for families throughout the year, to the work they do with the seniors through their silver sneaker programs, and really just being a nice place for members of the community to go and socialize and spend some good time with each other.
I think one of the other aspects of the YMCA that I so admire is the fact that they're open to new programs or to new initiatives. If somebody says to them, this would be a good idea, maybe I could work on this with you, they do those sorts of things. When somebody has a great idea, they're quick to embrace it.
They are. It's really, if it's the program that's going to be beneficial to the community, it's trying to be flexible to meet their needs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, you were one of the founders of the Turkey Trot?
Yes.
Yeah. And that supports scholarships that will allow people, families and children to enlist or enroll with the YMCA and take advantage of some of their great services.
It does. We started that several years ago. Members of the running community here in Indiana County would go to areas 45 minutes an hour away for turkey trots, which are really great runs on a Thanksgiving morning. So we teamed up with J.D. Fleming and Fleming's Tree Farm and created what I would consider one of the best turkey trots in the state.
Yeah.
I believe we're the only turkey trot that you get to wake up on a Thanksgiving morning and run through a Christmas tree farm before enjoying the bounty of Thanksgiving.
And J.D. wouldn't mind if you also helped to trim the trees while you run through.
It would be very helpful.
Running is a particular interest of yours, especially for kids. Tell me about the Healthy Kids Running Series.
The Healthy Kids Running Series was a nonprofit program started out in Delaware County, Pennsylvania. And the idea was to give kids the opportunity to learn about running and learn about healthy aspects of life in a format that was pretty unique. It's a 5-week running series for kids anywhere from pre-kindergarten up to 8th grade. When my wife and I came here to Indiana, we wanted to bring that program here, and working with Mac Park and the Mac Foundation, they let us run the program there. We had a lot of help from the community. We need a lot of volunteers to get that going on. So my wife and I ran that for several years, and it's going to be a new race director this season. Megan Folk is starting that this year, and it's going to be starting up on this Sunday evening.
Wow, that's timely then.
Yep.
It was a good thing we got you in when we did. Folks want to get in touch with the YMCA then to learn about that?
Well, the Healthy Kids Running Series
that's
is
something
separate.
different.
Yeah,
it's separate. Who do they need to contact?
They can either contact Megan Folk directly, or they can look up Healthy Kids Running Series.
Mm-hmm.
It has a Facebook page. It also has a website.
A lot of what you do has to do with kids. The Care Center is close to your heart too, isn't it?
It is. The Care Center of Indiana County provides some services that I wish they didn't have to. They focus on services for kids that have been victims of crime or situations in which supervised visitation needs to occur, and they provide a safe environment for those needs to be met.
Yeah.
And it's a very daunting task. Jess Clark down there does a fantastic job. The staff does some great work. I wish they were out of business, but unfortunately we need more support for them than anything. We have the Care Center has an event coming up on October 4th at the Country Club that's going to be supporting their services. So that's a fun event if someone's looking to get out and enjoy that.
Yeah, Jess is going to be with us in a couple of weeks to talk about that. And also, within your legal profession and your background, the Adelphi program is a part of what you do as well. And that is, that's just a wonderful program because it takes kids who might have been misguided or might think that they have no value in society, and they've everybody messes up. This gives them the footing to get back and really become productive.
Yes, I worked with Adelphi Village before I graduated law school for 7 years, and I've done some work for them since then. They provide services to hundreds and hundreds of kids every day for a variety of reasons. It's very rewarding to see some children that are otherwise on a terrible path and really a path to no good. And they turn around and lead productive lives, become good members of the community, graduate college, have families themselves, and really have that chance to be a productive adult.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you're a nominee for Male Civic Leader of the Year. Heather Reed, you're a nominee for Female Civic Leader of the Year. And I know that you're involved in so many things around the community, from your work at the Indiana Regional Medical Center to the various organizations to which you belong. But you have a real home at the YMCA, don't you?
I do. I feel like, as our family, when I think about programming and activities that we enjoy as a family, I think that is definitely a place, for us. The Y is not just a gymnasium. It is it's a place where we can go and spend time together as a family. We also really like the Y's commitment to the community. As you mentioned, they do try to become a community partner, but I think that comes with supporting the community and really trying to stay involved in other activities outside the walls of the YMCA. And I just like the entire community feeling. When you walk into the Y, it's definitely, you get that sort of family feel. So I feel like you really need to be invested in something that you support. And we certainly, as a family, are invested within the YMCA.
Well, a part of what you do is you actually go out there and splash around in the pool with folks.
Something like that. Yeah, I do. I do help as a volunteer coach for the YMCA Piranha swim team. And those kids, they're my swimmers. They're my kiddos, just the same as my own three are. I certainly have a passion and love of my little swimmers. So,
as a board member of the YMCA, you get a little chance to maybe provide some insight to us on how the inner workings of that board and the care that they have is so vital to the organization and therefore to all of Indiana County.
Yeah, I do believe the YMCA is blessed to have such an incredible board. When Bob and I sit in those board meetings, I think we would both say that the caliber of individuals that we seem to have as fellow board members is top notch. The Y, I think, does have that history of having very strong board members. So I think Bob and I would probably both say we're just pleased to have a seat at that table, to be involved in, sort of the future of the Y and where we're headed as a community within the YMCA too.
Heather Reed is with us. She is a nominee for the Female Civic Leader of the Year. You are a co-founder of Hopeful Hearts. Try to grab a hold of your emotions here because I know how tight it is for you. The Hopeful Hearts is something that's more than just a part of your heart, isn't it?
It sure is. So, Hopeful Hearts has sort of a great story behind it. When I lost my own father as an adolescent, just graduated from college, my family was aware of the Caring Place in Pittsburgh. But for us, I live closer to Punxsutawney. That was a huge hardship for us. We were not able to make that trip to participate in the Caring Place. So, later on in my life, I was able to sort of transform my grief into something good. I approached a gentleman at Grace United Methodist Church at the same time as Diane Geaver also approached the same individual. We both had this same dream and the same vision to bring a Caring Place model right here in Indiana County, and we did that. I was actively in labor with Joshua, finishing that grant for Hopeful Hearts through Highmark, and God really touched us. We were able to come through. That program materialized. I was the first board president of the organization. That organization is now housed under the VNA in Indiana, but it's still growing and thriving. We continue to usher in families that are going through really tough times. I like to think that, we are making them stronger families who come out the other side. So that's definitely, my heart is definitely with Hopeful Hearts. My children will tell you, they often, now they're getting to fundraise for Hopeful Hearts. It's become something that's part of their tradition. I'm hopeful that, one day that legacy will live on through my own kids.
So what was it, push and sign here at the same time?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm going to need a moment. I got to type. I have one more paragraph I got to type. So I do recall Dave kept saying, we really need to go to the hospital. I kept saying, I got one more section I got to finish. I'm fine. I'll be fine. These things take some time.
One more section is never just one more section.
Right, I know.
Because you got to go back through. But the success stories that we think about with anybody for all of the volunteer efforts, those come back and they warm your heart, but they also point, don't they, to what others can do and what people that we think of as ordinary citizens who don't have things to offer. And I don't know why we would think of people that way. Everybody has something to offer.
Todd, it's amazing. I mean, I wouldn't be sitting here, I'm sure Bob would say the same, if it weren't for so many other people in this community that have hearts for the same things that we do. Even the YMCA is made up of volunteers. I mean, all of the program, including what I do for a living at the hospital, only exists because of volunteers. I only get to sit here because I'm surrounded every day by people that give of their time and their money, their talents. I'm no different than anybody else. It's just that we all get to come together and do good for this community. And it's really such an honor to be nominated for this, because I can tell you every single day of my life I only get to do what I do at the hospital specifically because we have such amazing and giving volunteers.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it's good to have you both in the studio with us this morning. And for everybody that wants to be inspired by folks like Bob Manzi and Heather Reed and all of the other Leader Circle nominees that we've had with us here this week and will have with us at the 9:45 mark next week, September 27th at the Country Club. That's where the event is. Get your tickets now.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you both for coming in to visit with us here this morning. It's been very inspiring. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. Coming up, the Brian Kilmeade Show in just a couple of moments. Homer Center High School football is happening tonight right here on your hometown radio station as the Wildcats will take on the Marion Center Stingers at Marion Center. That's one of 4 games on our Render Broadcasting Station. 6:20 is your airtime for the Heritage Conference games on U92, on 1160 and 101.1 FM, and on Cat Country 106.3 FM.